Here we have the magnetic monopole. So the magnetic monopole is a single magnetic attraction. It only attracts, and it's located in the identity/G center. So everybody has one of these in your little identity center. That's a one-way magnet that's pulling everything towards you. And so all life forms are endowed with a magnetic monopole. And the magnetic monopole holds everything together in the illusion of our separateness. And it holds the personality and design crystals together in a relationship. The magnetic monopole connects us to our movement in time through space, guiding us along our path and geometry in life. You can think of it as destiny or the driver.
It's such a big concept put in such a sort of simple set of terms to understand it up front, right?
Yeah.
That driver, what we keep calling destiny, if whenever you look back over your life, you always see, oh, look at the circumstances that led me to this. As soon as you can do that and reflect upon your past to say, oh God, yeah, this happened with this, brought me on a trajectory through my life, we can go back then at the same time and look at your design and see where your monopole, what type of direction it was hooked onto to align it with a set of geometry that then helped you receive what felt like destiny. You know, a lot of times, or fate, or coincidence, or whatever, just the mystery of the life. That is what we're always trying to get into. But this driver, it sits in the G center. The G center marks out the 8 different sections, 2 4/4 and 8 half-quarters, obviously. And it marks them out quite deliberately in the wheel, the mandala, the human design mandala. So it's a really important center. It contains the vessel, which empowers our direction. And then gate 2, the driver, acts like the thing that will now push that empowerment right into the now, through the past, or into the future. These are our directions, and they're really important. We need them. Gate 2 is this always attractor. And the thing is, the monopole is something that science has been looking for a long time. If we had a couple of serious astrophysicists watching by accident, because maybe their wives made them do it, and they start hearing us talk about the monopole, they're going to say, hey, we have some equations we have not finished. We haven't nailed down this monopole, but we think it's there. There's something there, because the monopole describes the rest of how we fill in for all of what we can't measure. We measure 5 or 10%, at most 5% of the known universe we can measure in visible mass. We get another 10 or 20%, I forget these numbers, might be 30%, in what we see as might be dark energy or dark matter. One of the two, I forget. And then the other of the two, we just can't tell because it's dark. The monopole fills in the rest of the equation as a constant. And the thing is, the magnetic monopole, what's so intense about it, is it's responsible not only for our trajectory, but the fact that there's a monopole in every sternum of every human, and there's a monopole linked up with every design crystal, and there's monopoles literally everywhere in the universe. They might be as numerous as the neutrino, we don't know. And it's responsible for our relative sense of gravity. It's responsible for our relative sense of time. It's responsible for what we relatively think of as our spatial existence in 3D. And then when we imagine 4 and 5D, nobody knows that because we're swimming around with them. It's like just like the fish doesn't notice the water, or we don't notice the air until we're in the water. I don't know what else to say about this thing. It is magic, this monopole. One last thing, the monopole links up with the design crystal. It comes into the body at conception. Somewhere around 6 months, that monopole starts to either at 6 months or it starts moseying at 6 months to take its place in the G center strictly, to stay in the G center strictly while the design crystal starts to migrate up to the ajna. And then at the time of birth, when we receive our consciousness crystal, that stuff we call the black lines, it cooperates with the monopole. Because the monopole's holding in both those two things together. They normally would have nothing to do with each other, like two ships passing in the night. And then the consciousness crystal sits on top. It doesn't even enter the body. And it's held in alignment with the design crystal. And these things filter the neutrino feed so that we receive it one at a time. Our bodies are reading one neutrino at a time. So back to the information you were talking about, the fact that they exist is part of their information. And what is it they carry for information? I cannot know. It's a Gate 61 mystery that I choose not to go insane trying to know. You're all going to have to listen to that again. Please rewind and play over. Unless you got it. Just the Gate 2 in our trajectory, that hooking us onto our geometry. It's even just that.
Yeah,
It's intense.
yeah, the way it's like I think of the identity center in that sense of like trajectory. It's like a San Francisco streetcar, right? Where it's like got that like hook onto like this is where you're going. And I especially think of that with like the defined identity that like you have a specific route that your streetcar is going on. Where somebody
Right.
with an undefined identity, it's like you can jump from one bus to the other and you can see where other people are going.
It's a great point, Moni. And each of those two individuals have a monopole inside their Gate 2, whether their Gate 2 is defined or not. And it's sitting there that as an attractive force that is the meaning of love. It only attracts. So we have love built into us, quite literally, because all it does is it's a single pole, monopole. It does not have one that repels and one that attracts. It only attracts. So in case you ever wondered, are we supposed to get along? Yeah, it's written into the code.